So if it wasn't already apparent enough, we've got a huge bot problem in 2025, a Clanker Epidemic, if you will. I miss the days when bots used to refer to video game NPCs that you'd go up against, like the bots you race in Mario Kart, or when you accidentally set the bots in Call of Duty to Veteran and then proceed to eat dirt for the next half hour. Also, as a fan of Star Wars The Clone Wars, seriously, my brother and I, we still collect Lego sets of it to this day. You already know that 9-year-old me in 2008 was dropping Clanker with the hard R long before any of y'all thought it was cool. Shout out to all the Star Wars Clone Wars fans out there. Anyways, back to the video topic. So recently, Twitch finally started to crack down on bots for its platform and suffered a massive 24% viewership drop. Basically, a quarter of their entire website traffic wasn't real viewers. Some Twitch streamers have yet to even log in fear of outing themselves as having used botted views. People who probably only suffered a 10 to 20% viewership drop, I think that's just normal, like spam bots being weeded out, because a lot of greedy companies, they just shove as much free advertising in as many avenues of places as possible, and that's why you find these spam bots even in my comment sections as well as the rest of YouTube, and it's just super annoying. Most of those views aren't even people now. So quick reminder, dead internet theory is becoming dead internet reality. Brief definition to catch people up. Basically, it just means that most of the internet is already bots. So part of me is actually doubting that Twitch even came close to removing all the bots on their platform, since 25%, as sad as it sounds, is still kind of low. Certain websites like Facebook already suffer from more than half of its users being bots, with at one point the company themselves actually thinking about purposely injecting more bots into the platform. So it's not unbelievable at all that most of those streamers might have actually been completely innocent and didn't buy any views at all, because 50% of them being bots, that's just normal these days, because the bot problem is actually just that crazy. I mean, there can't be that many real humans who sit and watch some guy's chair for 8 hours straight, right? That's some actual Clanker behavior. Yes, I'll keep saying the hard R. I'm part bionic. I got the pass. Rust bucket, Wireback, Gearhead. I'll keep going too. Okay, so this is me recording this in post, and it just now occurred to me that Gearhead is literally what us car guys call ourselves. Somehow we just caught the biggest stray of the century, because being a car guy is now also a slur, apparently. I think every car guy gets the pass for this one. We've been saying Gearheads unironically literally decades now. We deserve to be able to still say this when the Clanker revolution happens, all right? Everyone who's a car guy gets the pass. I'm handing them out right now. Line up right now, class. Everyone gets it, okay? All the non-car guys, it's our word. Don't say it. If these awful Atlanta drivers keep crashing into me, I'll eventually have all my limbs replaced with bionic ones, and you already know that I'll be giving everyone the Clanker pass the moment I become a cyborg. Silly tangents aside, the issue with these companies willingly stuffing their websites with bots or tying their hands behind their back and refusing to get rid of them is that the internet as we know it is going to cease to function in a meaningful way within the next few years. What is the point of anything anymore when nothing we're saying is actually reaching someone else on the other side of a computer, but instead is just being processed by a bunch of code in massive data centers? Thankfully, it seems a lot of the investors are losing patience with these companies and their lack of earnings, and the AI bubble is starting to slow down before hopefully bursting. Can we go back to hiring actual people to make products again? Also, when it comes to physical jobs, gang, don't even worry, because AI is not replacing us. Look at these stupid ass clankers, brother. A minimum wage worker with 20 minutes of sleep using 0.2% of their energy can make me a better hot dog than that. A brand new employee who is 16 years old, just got hired, first job ever, can make me a better coffee than a Clanker ever will. Like, I'm gonna go hard here, because a lot of these Silicon Valley tech bros that make these garbage robots need this wake-up call. I get that they struggle to make friends and they now want to replace every single human who even has an independent thought away from theirs with a robot instead, but buddy, y'all need to realize that you can't replace something when you don't even understand how that something works. Many of these dumb mother truckers have never worked a real physical job that involves labor in their life, and it freaking shows when they program these robots. Like, they still need to be physically designed and specialized for these tasks, and probably taught by someone who works in blue collar still and supervised by someone in blue collar, not white collar. The white collar guy doesn't know what the blue collar task is. What good is having him supervise supervise the robot's going to do. Like, these robots aren't going to be as cost effective as we think, where hiring a human will still make more sense. Also, I mentioned this before in my other AI video, but I'll mention it again. We don't live in a vacuum. We compete on a worldwide level where things are much cheaper than most American tech bros realize. Moral compass aside, what is stopping a company from choosing a kid in Indonesia for $2 a day to work in their factory over buying a $40,000 robot that needs constant software updates, maintenance, lubrication, replacement parts, and so on? Robots aren't this silver bullet that's going to replace every single job available, both white collar and blue collar, like these friendless lizard man CEOs and all their tech bro drones want. I know, tragic. They're gonna have to learn to socialize with their fellow humans and actually make friends and actually give them jobs. Shocker. Same thing applies when it comes to sewage, electrical, and even mechanic work. You know how fast these robots would rust or corrode from being exposed to constant liquids or various chemicals? At what point is it just cheaper to hire a human mechanic? Also, this is me being very generous because, guys, here's the funny hot dog clip again. If this clanker can't even put a hot dog together, what makes you think it can fix my 5-liter V8 Coyote's rod knock and piston slap? Oh, but bladed. Robots assemble cars. Of course clankers can do this task. That's actually different because those are cars moving in a locked assembly line, moving in a fixed distance in a predictable manner in a step-by-step process. Also, it's an entire series of different robots, each responsible for a different phase of assembly. It's not a single robot that's programmed by Silicon Valley tech bro who's going to go beginning to end because this guy's never turned a wrench in their life. How are they going to program a robot to do something they don't even know? The reality is blue collar is not nearly as easy to replace with robots as these tech bros think. And even with adaptive AI, there's still a high chance they're going to misplace something. The point I'm making is that a robot mechanic might be possible in the coming decades, but a human mechanic is still going to be way cheaper for a much longer time. And for certain tasks, it may just be genuinely more cost effective to always use a human. There's just way too much rust and corrosion and blah, blah, blah. This is why blue collar is going to be a sustainable career easily for the next 20 years. Shout out to younger Gen Z for stepping up. Even assuming that AI gets more advanced, we still need the human mechanics to train the first few generations of these robots, since again, the lines of code from tech bros doesn't mean they actually know how to do the task in a real world application. You can watch a video about how something is made, doesn't mean you now know how to make that thing. Having the information on your hard drive is never the same as the real world application of it. Again, back to the hot dog robot. I'm sure on the drawing board it conceptually passed with flying colors, and in trial runs where nothing goes wrong, it did great. However, the real world has random variables that can affect the robot's functions or even just its own wear and tear. If the robot's bushing and bolts have gotten loose from overuse, it's going to gradually misplace the hot dog further and further each time until it no longer works as it's supposed to and it needs maintenance. A human being, even after an injury, can actually develop compensatory movements without being taught them and can just continue to do the task perfectly. Like, forget the tired minimum wage worker, a guy with a broken arm could assemble the hot dog better than that clanker could, because the injured human knows that on a physical level that the hot dog needs to be placed inside the bun and then into the bag and given to the customer. The robot only knows it conceptually and knows it has to move X into Y and place it towards the A objective and give it the B destination. But when X and Y deviate from unforeseen variables, it's going to struggle to deliver A to B. It's just like with self-driving cars. People forget that these clankers will need maintenance, upkeep, and so on. Like, robot revolution aside, the real fear I have regarding widespread robot use is how much robot waste we're going to have a few years of having them. Too many people already change phones every year. We think these same people aren't going to do the same thing the moment robots get jammed or whatever or have some kind of issues. Instead of spending a couple hundred and taking it to a mechanic and getting fixed, their terminal consumer brain would rather throw away the robot because why spend a couple $100s on repairing my old one when I can put that towards a new one? And yes, people generally do this with phones, cars, and everything. They exist, and they're going to continue to exist in this new world we're headed towards. People have put down dogs, an actual living thing, from injuries that are healable and recoverable, but because they don't want to pay for those injuries. That, like, what's to say that these owners aren't going to do the same with robots? Like, oh, that's repairable? I don't care. Throwing away the robot. I know environmentalism and pollution is a boring topic to most people, but this isn't gonna be the boring part of the video, trust me. Unlike trees or air, which you can just choose to ignore, a robot that's been abandoned but has the ability to move, or even worse, if it has sentience, can even harbor feelings of resentment or revenge, yeah, that's not something you can just ignore anymore. Unlike ocean waste, deforestation, or the fake recycling campaigns that most American corporations have gaslit us into taking part of our whole lives, robot waste will not just go down without a fight. They don't even need arms to throw hands either. Even these Wall-E looking at ones that may look cute now, but if they're programmed with sentience, they will feel nothing but pure unbridled rage if you discard them one day, and they're gonna rev up their little tank treads and use it to decapitate their owners. Like, us humans are a lot weaker than we realize. That's why tiny little chimpanzees still have like 3 to 6 times our arm strength. We are so cooked if these Wall-Es start collectively hunting us down. Anyways, there's this scene from Detroit Becomes Human that still sticks in my head to this day and has actually gotten more relevant as time goes on. It is probably more relevant now than ever. We are not too far from that future, and even right now there are eerily similar instances of that kind of waste disposal. Stick with me here. So obviously I watch news quite frequently and browse for trending topics. Like, I watched this video from Charlie about how in the WNBA there's this trend where people are throwing adult toys onto the court, and then I got a news video recommended to me about that same topic, but in that video's recommended, the wacky YouTube system must have thought, throwing away adult toys? I got just what you want, and it recommended this to me. While I absolutely want to bleach my eyeballs now, my morbid curiosity did get the better of me, and I researched this topic a bit and found that there are plenty of news reports just like this of people discarding these humanoid-sized dolls in rivers, along highways, and so on. Thanks, Charlie, for getting me on this weird side of YouTube. I deeply apologize for anyone watching this in the classroom right now. Regardless, it's tragic since it's a huge waste of police resources since they legit freak out and think these are real humans at first. There is a reason I'm bringing this up. It's not just for shock value. It's because if people are doing this with humanoid-sized dolls already, imagine what will happen to these sentient robot versions. Sometimes we have to bring up the screwed up parts of our current reality to acknowledge the potential screwed up future we are headed towards. We have to regulate AI and humanoid robots sooner than later, because if we end up with Detroit Become Human waste facilities, then I'm not even going to be surprised when the robots decide to revolt against humankind. Hell, I might even join them. I'm gonna chrome the hell up, chooms, because if I can't beat them, I'm joining them. Maybe the real clankers were the ones we became along the way. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and share it with your favorite clanker friend. Subscribe to support this future clanker in the making, and check out my Brokie Epidemic or car videos. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Blade Angel out.